My child, you've been trying so hard to figure out who you are. You've listened to the world, to your history, to your inner critic. You've measured yourself against expectations that shift with the seasons, against standards you never agreed to, against shadows of people who seem more confident, more capable, more worthy with every attempt. You've come up short, exhausted, uncertain, quietly wondering if you'll ever find your place. I want to speak into that silence now, with truth strong enough to silence every lie you've believed. Your identity has never been in what you do, what you've done, or what's been done to you. It has always been in me, before the noise, before the failure, before the striving. There was me, and there was you. I shaped you with thought, with joy, with love. You were not created by accident or formed as an afterthought. I wasn't in a rush. I didn't make a mistake. You came from my heart with intentionality, design, and purpose. I breathed life into you because I longed to walk with you, to know you, to let you know me. I was never interested in what the world would try to make of you. I have always been focused on who I made you to be. I know how hard it's been to hold on to that truth. The world didn't affirm it. It gave you labels based on performance, appearance, possessions, titles, mistakes, and temporary moments. You've worn those labels. Some you put on yourself, others forced upon you. You've tried to earn love through achievement, avoid pain by hiding, built identities out of rejection, fear, success, even failure. Anything to feel more certain, more secure. But every time those fragile layers cracked, you felt exposed, unsure, wondering if you even know yourself at all. You've told yourself stories. If I accomplish more, I'll be proud of myself. If I make them happy, I'll feel like I matter. If I get it right this time, I'll be enough. But none of it has satisfied you. Because identity rooted in striving is never stable. It moves with circumstances, collapses under criticism, withers under pressure. That is not what I designed for you. You are not meant to live at the mercy of others' approval or your own impossible standards. You were made to live from a deep, unshakable truth. A truth that begins and ends in me. So I say to you now, gently but firmly, it's time to return. Return to what is eternal, unchanging. Return to the voice that knew you before anyone else formed an opinion of you. I don't need your resume, your image, your perfection. I need your heart open to me again. I want you to see yourself through my eyes, because only then will you truly know who you are. You're not a disappointment. You're not too broken, too late, invisible, or behind. You're not too far gone or beyond restoration. You're not defined by your mistakes, trauma, weakness, or confusion. You are defined by the one who never stopped loving you through it all. I've been with you in every moment, even when you didn't recognize me. Now, I stand before you, asking you to let go of every counterfeit identity so I can give you back what was always yours, the truth. You are mine, not as an idea, not as a metaphor, but in the truest, most intimate sense. I call you my child, not because you earned it, but because I created you. My love is not a reward. It's the origin of your being, the starting point of your identity. Once you accept this, not as a distant theological fact, but as a living, breathing reality, it changes everything. This truth sets you free from needing to be anyone else. It releases you from the prison of comparison, delivers you from the pressure to constantly improve, produce, pretend. You can finally rest in me. This identity I offer is not passive or abstract. It's powerful. It tells you where you belong, how you are loved, why you matter. When you know who you are in me, your choices change, your relationships shift, your purpose becomes clear. You stop needing to impress or hide. You start living from peace. Even when life isn't peaceful, you love without fear. Even when you've been hurt, you step into rooms differently, not arrogantly, but confidently, because you know you are not lost, not adrift, but known. Let me say it again. Not because I need to, but because you do. Your identity is found in me, not in your job, relationship status, past, pain, or performance. In me, you are fully known, fully loved, fully secure. Nothing can take that from you. Nothing can change what I've declared over your life. The world may try to define you by its terms, but my voice is louder, my truth stronger, my love relentless. You are who I say you are, and I say you are mine. You've spent so much time trying to measure up, to earn what I gave freely. The world taught you that identity must be proven through titles, beauty, success, control, that worth needs validation from others, that unless you do more, become more, you'll never be enough. So you've hustled, pushed yourself to exhaustion, doubted your reflection, second-guessed your choices, felt that anxious urgency that everything will fall apart if you don't figure it out soon. That voice isn't mine. I don't speak with pressure or panic. I speak with peace. And my peace is the pathway back to who you truly are. I never intended for you to live in constant performance. That's not freedom. It's bondage, disguised as ambition. You weren't created to run your identity like a race, chasing approval, always one step behind who you think you should be. You were created to rest in the certainty of being loved. Real love doesn't keep score or wait until you've figured everything out. My love wraps around you right now, exactly as you are, and speaks a better word than all the labels you've carried, even your achievements. Dreams fulfilled, goals reached. They can't define you the way my love does. Accomplishments fade, circumstances shift, but my love does not change, nor does my vision of you. I don't hold up your failures and decide who you are. I hold up my Son, and through him, I call you whole, forgiven, chosen, free. You are not a broken puzzle to be solved or the sum of your struggles. You are a living reflection of my grace, and that grace has always been enough. But I know how tempting it is to chase identity through comparison, scrolling through others' lives, measuring your worth against highlight reels. minimizing your progress. Every time you do, your joy slips away. That's not how I meant you to live. I never asked you to be like anyone else. I formed you with your own voice, soul, story. Your story matters to me. Not just the victories, but every chapter, even those you wish you could erase. I use all of it, not a tear, not a loss, not a moment is wasted. Everything surrendered to me becomes sacred. You don't have to be who they expected or carry the burden of being everything for everyone. You're not responsible for managing how others see you. That's exhausting. And I never asked it of you. I am not a taskmaster. I am your father. I don't assign your identity based on output. I call you my own because of who I am, and I do not change. My identity is secure, and in me, so is yours. Let me take you back to the beginning, not of your pain, but of your design. I made you in my image. Your identity is rooted in me, not in others' opinions or culture's expectations. You are not disposable or replaceable. You are not merely surviving. You are here on purpose, with a purpose wrapped in eternal love. When you live from that place, when your spirit rises into the reality that you are seen, known, adored by me, everything shifts. You won't need to chase love. It's already yours. You won't need to strive for peace. It's in my presence. You won't need to search for meaning. Your existence speaks of it. Identity becomes the ground you walk on, the lens you see through, the language your soul speaks, not, I hope I'm enough. But I am enough because I am His. There is healing in knowing who you truly are. When you stop fighting to earn worth, space opens for joy. When you stop pretending, you rest. When you rest in me, I restore what you thought you lost while trying to be someone else. Your voice, your laughter, your innocence, your strength. I bring back what got buried beneath disappointment and duty. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about becoming someone true. Let me take the heavy labels off your soul. Strip away the roles you've performed but never embraced. Silence the voices that said you were too much or not enough, or both. You don't have to carry those lies anymore. You don't have to live tangled in insecurity, always asking permission to be who I created you to be. You have my permission, my blessing, my spirit breathing life into you. You don't need the world's approval when you have my affirmation. You don't need to prove yourself when I've proclaimed you mine. Your worth found you in the dark when you weren't looking. And now it's calling you into the light. You've spent so long trying to undo what others spoke over you. Their words became wounds that shaped your thoughts. You tried to shrug them off, laugh them away, ignore them, but they dug deep. Someone called you too sensitive, and you questioned your emotional depth. Another said you weren't smart enough, and your dreams felt too big. Others told you what you should be, and you lost touch with the voice that knew what you were called to become. Those words were never yours to carry. Today, I lift them off your shoulders. Only one voice has the authority to name you. Mine. When I spoke light into darkness, breathed stars into being, carved oceans into the earth, I also spoke over you. My words do not wound, they awaken. I called you loved before you reached for me, chosen before you stepped into purpose, worthy while you doubted you belonged, mine when you tried to earn your place. My voice doesn't echo the world's demands. It sings over you with truth that transcends time. That truth is your home. I know what it feels like to live beneath the weight of labels. Those others gave you, those you gave yourself, those culture pushed onto you with messages about who you should be, how you should act, what success or love should look like. You've been told your value depends on accomplishment, attractiveness, keeping it together. But none of that ever determined your worth. Your identity was never meant to be performance-based, but presence-based. My presence with you, in you, through you. You're not broken beyond repair. I know there are moments when you look in the mirror and wonder if what you see is lovable. When shame whispers that if people knew the whole story, they'd turn away. I don't turn away. I turn toward, I move in close. I don't need you to hide what you think disqualifies you. Bring it to me. Your vulnerability doesn't make you unworthy. It makes you reachable. The places you try to seal off are where I long to touch with healing. Shame is not your name. Insecurity is not your home. Anxiety is not your label. You were not created to walk through life questioning your value. That's why the ache persists. Your soul was never meant to live in conflict with the truth of how I see you. I see you with eyes undistorted by fear, unlimited by time, uninfluenced by culture. I see you in the fullness of who I created you to be, and I'm committed to leading you back there, no matter how long it takes, no matter how lost you feel. Let me tell you who you are, not who you think you should be, not who others tried to make you, not who the world rewards. You are my beloved child, created with purpose, held in grace, marked with divine intention. You're not an accident, not behind, not a disappointment, not disqualified. Every breath you take is evidence I still have plans for you. Every heartbeat is a reminder I haven't given up on the masterpiece I began in you. There will be days when old voices try to return, when fear tries to reclaim space in your mind. You are not defenseless. I've given you my spirit, my truth, my presence. I've clothed you in an identity that cannot be undone by insecurity. When lies come, speak my truth over yourself. When darkness closes in, remember the light I've placed inside you. You are not fragile or powerless. You carry the identity of a child of God, and nothing can separate you from that truth. I'm not asking you to pretend or inviting you into performance. I'm calling you into wholeness, alignment with truth, living in step with who I say you are, even when it contradicts the world. In that choice, healing happens, confidence rises, the real you emerges, not created from scratch, but uncovered, reclaimed, restored. You're not becoming someone new, you're becoming someone true. This is your identity, deeply loved, eternally secure, divinely purposed, not one day in the future, but right now. The more you believe it, the more you'll live, speak, and love like it. You've learned to hide parts of yourself, Pieces you thought too complicated, wounded, messy to bring into the light. You buried them, thinking it was safer to stay silent, small, polished. But I see it all. I see what you tried to hide, and I don't flinch or turn away. I draw near because I never loved an illusion of you. I've always loved the real you, behind the masks, beneath the filters, underneath the striving. I see you fully and call you good. You've been taught some emotions are unacceptable. That strength means not feeling too much, not breaking down, not needing help. I never created you to be numb. I created you with a heart that feels deeply, a soul meant to engage with life, not just survive it. Your sensitivity is not a flaw, it's a gift. Your questions are not a problem, they're a sign of intimacy. Your need is not an embarrassment, it's a doorway to encounter me more deeply. I'm not disappointed by your emotions, I made them. Designed every part of you for connection with me. Bring me your confusion, your ache, the moments when you don't feel spiritual or faithful. I'm not moved by religious appearances. I'm moved by real hearts. You don't need to perform or clean yourself up before entering my presence. You're already in it. I'm with you in the mundane, the anger, the sorrow, the questions. My voice doesn't fade when you falter. I stay. I listen. I speak truth over your silence until your spirit remembers it's not alone. You are not defined by your lowest moment or highest success. Your identity is not based on emotional highs or spiritual achievements. It's anchored in my unchanging nature. My posture toward you is consistent, gentle, faithful. You're not one mistake away from losing my affection or one doubt away from falling out of my plan. I knew every chapter of your story before you lived it and chose you still. My love is not reckless, but relentless. Rewriting every name you've given yourself that didn't come from me. You are not a burden, too complex, or hard to love. You've believed those things because pain distorts your reflection. I'm lifting that distortion now, cleansing the lens through which you see yourself, showing you what I've seen all along, beauty in the becoming, strength in the struggle, holiness in the healing. You're not too far behind or a failure in progress. You're a masterpiece in motion. I'm not in a hurry with you. I'm present, fully engaged, fully committed. Let go of the pressure to always be okay. I'm not honored by perfectionism. I'm honored by your presence. When you show up in honesty, bring the raw, unedited version of your thoughts. Transformation begins. Shame loses its grip. My truth sinks in and takes root. I don't need polished prayers or curated vulnerability, just your heart, open, willing, even trembling. There's a deeper identity waiting, not based on being understood by others, but on being fully known by me. When you live from this place, others' opinions lose weight, approval becomes less necessary, fears quiet. Peace isn't the absence of conflict, it's the presence of truth. You're not defined by reaction, but by revelation. The world reacts to your image. I respond to your essence. Your essence is wrapped in me. This identity is your inheritance, a gift given before you could earn or deserve it. You were made to walk with me in freedom, not fear, in truth, not tension, in love, not performance. As this identity becomes your foundation, your life shifts, not because you force it, but because wholeness bears fruit. Your relationships deepen, clarity sharpens, rest multiplies. Living in alignment with me is where your soul finds its rhythm again. This unveiling of who you are is not linear. There will be moments when old lies reassert themselves, when fear speaks louder than truth. Even then, I'm not disillusioned with you. I remain faithful, reminding you as many times as needed that you are more than your emotions, story, or doubt. You are mine, and that's enough. Breathe, drop the mask, let the striving stop. You're not in danger of being forgotten or unloved. Your identity isn't slipping away. It's being revealed, day by day, word by word, moment by moment. As you rest in me, think about how often you've defined yourself by seasons meant to shape, not label. You called yourself lost because you wandered, a failure because something didn't work out, broken because of pain. None of those names came from me. I never defined you by your darkest day or most confused hour. I never pointed to your wounds and said, "This is who you are." I called you healed, chosen, whole long before you could see it. I'm not waiting for you to get everything right before speaking your identity over you. I've spoken it, and I'm waiting for you to believe it. So much confusion comes from trying to reconcile two voices, one saying who you should be to be accepted, and mine, already accepting you, calling you to become who you were meant to be. One demands you earn love, the other reminds you it's yours. One locks you in comparison, anxiety, proving, the other calls you to rest. Purpose, freedom. You can choose which voice defines your life. I want you to choose mine, not because I demand it, but because I know what's best for your heart. You were never meant to be the product of performance. The world moves the goalposts of success, value, enoughness. I don't measure you that way. I measure by my love, and the scale never shifts. You are valuable because I made you. Enough because I said so. That doesn't change when you stumble, feel empty, or lack answers. Rest in the truth that your worth isn't up for debate. I settled it when I formed you. You've walked through life carrying questions. Who am I really? What's my purpose? Why don't I fit anywhere? Those questions aren't failure. They're awakening. Your spirit's cry to return to your origin. To me, the answer to who am I is found in whose you are. You are mine, not temporarily, not conditionally, eternally. When you live from that place, everything finds order. Decisions gain clarity. Relationships ground. Vision sharpens. You stop chasing roles that weren't yours. Stop accepting identities from fear or survival. You stop performing and start living. Fully, authentically, boldly. Not with arrogance, but with peace from knowing you stand on unshakable ground. Let me walk you back through the lies that you must be perfect to be loved, too much or not enough, that you must fix yourself to be worthy. These didn't begin with me and can't stand in my presence. I break them now, not just in your mind, but in your spirit. I don't just correct thoughts. I restore identity, returning it to its original form. You don't need to fabricate a version of yourself to be accepted. I want you as you are. When you bring me the real you, hurting, questioning, longing, I show you the strength already inside. Identity isn't something you achieve. It's a gift you receive, a truth, not a test. When you realize this, your soul exhales. You no longer live to earn love. You live because you are loved. You no longer shape your life around avoiding rejection. You shape it around expressing the truth of who you are in me. This freedom is yours, not fragile, not dependent on treatment or criticism, not lost on bad days. It's rooted in a truth spoken before time, echoing through eternity. You are mine. When the enemy challenges that through fear, shame, doubt, or distraction, remember, I have the final word. My word over you is identity, dignity, destiny, beloved. You'll have moments of uncertainty, days when old voices get loud. Each time, I'll be here, whispering, reminding. The more you listen, the more my voice becomes your own. You'll speak my truth over yourself. Affirm what I've always seen. Walk not just with hope, but authority. The truest thing about you isn't what happened, what they said, or what you achieved or failed at. It's what I've spoken. You are loved, seen, wanted, mine. You're beginning to understand what many chase their whole lives. Your identity isn't a moving target. It doesn't fluctuate with feelings or others' responses. It's not a mystery to solve, but a truth to embrace, complete in me. As you believe this, not just intellectually, but deeply, it becomes the lens for everything. I want to speak to the unsure parts of you, the younger you, who tried to be accepted and felt invisible, the tired you sacrificing, hoping to be noticed, the successful you feeling hollow, the you afraid that stopping striving means being forgotten. I see you. I love you. I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for presence. Come as you are, not as you think you should be. You've been told identity is something you create, build, brand, defend, upgrade. Identity isn't a project, it's a promise. Spoken before, you had language to name your fears. I called you mine, worthy, enough. You don't need to fight for those names. Just let them settle into your soul. When you know who you are in me, you no longer posture, prove, or perform. You walk with quiet strength, a confidence that doesn't draw attention, but commands peace in the storm. When you stop trying to be someone for the world, you become available for what I want to do through you. What I have planned requires the true you, not projected or protected, but the one learning to trust, love, believe again. Belief begins not with certainty, but surrender. Saying, God, if this is who you say I am, I'll live like it, even if I don't feel it yet. That choice opens the door for my affirmation, flooding your spirit, reminding you your name is not fear, failure, or forgotten. It's beloved, called, whole, restored. The world will try to reduce you to labels, push you to hustle, appear shinier, conform faster. Resist that pull, not in rebellion, but rootedness. You're not called to blend in or chase culture. You're called to reflect my image, a reality full of clarity, purpose, sacred uniqueness. You're not meant to mimic another story, but live yours, authored by me. You'll feel it in how you speak. Carry yourself. Show up when no one's watching. You'll need less to over-explain. Apologize for your presence, or hide your light to keep others comfortable. That's not pride, that's truth. I made you to shine, not for your glory, but mine. The more you walk in who you are in me, the more others are drawn to me through you. Transformation doesn't mean you won't feel insecurity. Sometimes even Jesus was questioned about who he was. Don't be surprised when doubt knocks. But now you have an answer. I am his. That truth, spoken from your spirit, silences fear, steadies your heart, reminds you you don't walk alone, you walk marked by grace. Others will sense it, even if they don't understand. Your identity isn't loud, it's peaceful. A quiet authority that doesn't need a stage. It's how you carry yourself in private. Respond in crisis. Remain kind in offense. Choose humility when you could prove yourself. Forgive when bitterness feels easier. That's identity lived, not just believed. You reflect me not only in success, but when you stand back up. Return to me after falling. Choose to believe you're loved, even when you feel unlovable. That's where identity takes root. In day-to-day decisions, to let truth lead over emotion. Heaven rejoices not because you're flawless, but faithful. You're becoming who I always knew you were. I'm not just the God of beginnings. I'm the God of becoming, walking with you through the messy middle, the stuck or weary days. I'm in the healing conversation you had, the tears no one saw, the decision to rest instead of hustle. Every moment you chose connection over isolation, truth over self-protection, presence over pretending. That's where identity becomes unshakable, practiced in quiet places before it's noticed in loud ones. Don't despise your process or rush past the tension. It's shaping you, refining how you see yourself, expanding your capacity to carry the truth of who you are in me. You're not going backward or circling the same mountain. You're growing, slowly, deeply, truly. Every step forward declares to the world, the enemy, your doubt. I know who I am because I know whose I am. You're not trying to become valuable. You're learning to live from the value I placed on you. This is the gift, the promise, your identity. Now that you see it, I want to teach you to walk in it, not just when you feel strong, but when winds shift and pressure builds. Identity isn't a badge, it's a foundation. Every day, You can walk in alignment with what I've declared, not to earn favor, but because you live in it. You've learned to move reactively, adjusting to expectations, managing impressions, staying safe. Now I'm teaching you to live proactively, anchored in truth, rooted in me, unmoved by circumstance or opinion. When your identity is secure, you're not easily shaken. You'll feel fear or frustration, but they won't define you. You'll experience life fully, with a spirit that remains steady because it knows the source. This is the shift from self-protection to spirit-led living, from striving to rest, from insecurity to authority. You'll notice your posture change, how you walk into rooms, carry conversations, interact, not needing to prove, but knowing you're established. You don't need to dominate or shrink. You take up the exact space I've given, with humility, grace, power. There will be moments when you're misunderstood, when others try to pull you back to old versions of yourself, when you're tempted to dim your light. Recognize the invitation, not to perform, but to remain in me, in truth, in love. You don't need to correct every false perception. Your life will speak. Truth doesn't shout, it stands. Your identity isn't just for your peace. It's for the world's transformation. When you live knowing who you are, others notice. Come close. Ask without words, where did that clarity come from? How do you stay grounded? You'll testify, not boast, pointing to my grace. Becoming a living example of what it looks like to be known, loved, free. Your relationships will shift. You'll attract those who love the real you. Release the need to be needed. Embrace being real. Your energy will root in authenticity, not anxiety. Your love will be purer, impact deeper, joy fuller. Your identity carries authority, not control, but kingdom authority that breaks cycles, lifts burdens, restores dignity. When you speak truth, it cuts through confusion. When you pray, things shift. When you show up in love, walls come down. This isn't about becoming powerful for influence, but secure so I can trust you to steward the influence I give. I'm preparing you for greater things, beginning with the quiet conviction, I know who I am in Christ. Stay vigilant, not fear-based, but truth-anchored. The world will offer new labels, tempt you to build your life around achievements, roles, relationships. Pause and return to me. Identity is a daily returning, a moment-by-moment alignment. You'll feel when something's off, not guilt, but peace lifting, signaling. Come back to who I say you are, to the center, to the voice that doesn't change. Identity isn't isolation. You weren't meant to walk alone. I created you for connection with others who speak life, not competition, who call out your gold, not flaws, who remind you of truth when you forget. Seek those relationships. They're part of your growth. In turn, you'll be that voice for others. This is how I move through those secure in me, not because they never waver, but because they know where to return. Not because they're strongest, but because they rely on my strength. You're becoming that person, walking into the fullness of who I created, not rushed, not incomplete, but completely, profoundly, beautifully mine. Keep walking, keep becoming. Keep choosing the truth that you're not a reflection of circumstances, but of your Creator. I, your Creator, Redeemer, constant companion, call you beloved that will never change. Let me draw you back, gently, to the center of everything I've whispered. You are mine, not fleetingly, but in an unbreakable covenant. You're not just known, you're chosen. Not just accepted, you're cherished. Every part of your identity flows from this. You don't need to search endlessly for meaning or build something to prove you matter. Your life carries eternal significance because I breathe through you. There's a reason the world fought to confuse you about who you are. There's power in a person who knows they're loved without condition, valued without performance, seen without needing to impress. That person can't be manipulated by fear, reduced by comparison, silenced by shame. The enemy wanted to fracture your identity because your wholeness is dangerous to darkness. But now, standing in the revelation of who I say you are, you're rising. Nothing can undo the truth taking root in you. You may feel in process, wrestling with old mindsets, stepping carefully around old patterns. That's okay. I never demanded perfection, only proximity. The more you stay close, the more my truth becomes your instinct. You'll recognize these faster, catch insecurity sooner, sense shame trying to return, and rise, not in panic, but peace. Knowing it doesn't belong anymore, transformation deepens. Your story doesn't disqualify you. It's what I'm redeeming, crafting into a testament for others lost in false identities. You don't have to hide what you've been through. I'll use every broken piece, forgotten part, page you wish to rip out, and make something holy, not a monument to pain, but a beacon of my love. You're not merely a survivor, you're a vessel of restoration. You've always sensed there was more, that the life you were living didn't match the pull in your spirit. That was me, calling you to remember, to shed what the world wrapped around you, to return to the garment I wove from the beginning, identity rooted in grace, wrapped in love, bound by peace. You don't have to earn it, just accept it when you do. The way forward opens. You no longer choose based on fear of rejection or desire for approval, but on truth. Does this reflect who I am in God? Does this align with the one who formed me? That shift changes everything. Not just actions, but atmosphere. Peace becomes your compass, discernment, your language, courage, your rhythm. You're no longer reacting to life. You're walking in step with me. You've tried to fix yourself through self-help, discipline, pushing down questions, pretending to be okay. I'm not offering another layer of self-repair, but surrender. Laying down what you thought you had to be so I can raise you into what I created you to be. You weren't made to carry transformation alone. I begin the good work and am faithful to complete it. Trust me with the timing, outcome, unfolding. Identity isn't a test you pass. It's a home you return to. Every time you return, I haven't moved. I'm here, calling you by name, speaking life into places that knew only silence. You'll never exhaust my love, outgrow my grace, or come to the end of my goodness. Your identity is a relationship, and I am the constant within it. Breathe deeply, stand tall, not in pride, but peace. Speak slowly, not from fear, but truth. Move gently, not because you're unsure, but grounded. This is the fruit of identity in me. Not loud, but powerful. Not flashy, but unshakable. You, beloved, are walking in it now. Step fully into the truth, rising with every word, every whisper, sinking beneath your thoughts. This isn't the closing of a chapter. It's the claiming of your name. You are mine, whole, chosen, seen. Your identity is not temporary, not dependent on behavior or feelings. It's a divine declaration, written before time, sealed by my spirit, unbreakable. You've walked toward this moment, often without realizing it. Every search for worth, cry in the dark, ache to be understood. Those weren't failures, but sacred signals of a heart meant to be filled by something greater. Here, in my presence, you're not lost, abandoned, or unworthy. You're called, and you answered, even if through a whisper, a tear, a silent surrender. Heaven heard it. I heard it. And I've been responding with truth. The false names, behind, broken, inadequate, fall off now. They have no authority in the light of my love. I've removed shame's garments and dressed you in dignity, replaced pain-born identities with a crown of purpose. You are royalty. Not because you've conquered all, but because I've called you my own. You walk not as one earning acceptance, but knowing you belong. Your life reflects something more, carrying weight, not of pressure, but presence. Your words heal, not harm. Your silence carries wisdom, not fear. Your steps are intentional, decisions peaceful. Not because you figured it out, but because you returned to the source. You're no longer navigating alone, chasing clarity in the dark. You walk with me, following faithfully, not anxiously. I'll never leave you. Your identity doesn't vanish in hard seasons, disappear in struggle, or need re-earning after setbacks. What I give, I don't take back. I knew every part of you. Weaknesses, patterns, history, and said yes. Your mistakes can't unwrite my plans. Your doubts can't remove my love. Your mess can't cancel my promise. I'm not moved by storms. I speak to them. Peace. Be still. That peace I speak over your heart. Let this be your rhythm when the world tries to rename you. Return to me. When fear rises, run to me. When shame whispers, sit with me. I'll always remind you who you are. The more you live in that space, the clearer, bolder, more joyful you'll step out. You won't need to shout your worth. You'll live it. Your presence will invite others to remember who they are. You become a mirror of my mercy, a carrier of my kindness, a reflection of the identity I've given. This identity is your foundation and future. Ministry, relationships, creativity, healing, influence. None come from striving, but from being rooted in me. When your heart is secure, your life becomes fruitful, not hurried, not frantic, but rich, steady, overflowing. That's what I have for you. Not survival, but abundance. Not activity, but meaning. Not existence, but impact. Remain. Not in fear or performance, but in love. In me. Let your identity be the soil where every dream grows, every decision blooms, every moment finds purpose. You're no longer searching. You've found your home, your name, written in my hands. You are mine forever. Amen. Now, share this message, not for praise, but purpose. Someone else is searching for who they are. Let your transformation be their invitation. Your identity speak truth into their silence. Be the reminder they've been praying for. You are not just called, you are sent. Go in love, in peace, in me.